Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast, very early. I hardly slept last night. I was researching after I did the video last night. I've been watching the news and reading article after article. Okay, one thing I didn't mention, one of the more troubling articles. The entire picture is becoming clear that it's no longer a Republican Party. There's probably a lot of people that think that Trump is there still the Republican Party and Trump is the president of the Republican Party. But it's not really what's happening here. It's the authoritarian Trump Party, really, is what it is. I want to talk about, this is something I missed last night. A U.S. senator saying that I hate democracy. See, you're saying to yourself, Daryl, that can't be right. How a U.S. senator saying he hates democracy? That can't be right, especially before an election. No, it's right. Mike Lee, Republican Senator Mike Lee, I hate democracy, in a tweet. Democracy is no longer American. Now, what he's saying here, and what Trump and the rest of that circle is going for, is anti-majoritarian rule. A rule in America of the worthy Americans over the working poor. What they want is freedom. This is how they phrase it. That the Constitution is more about their freedom, their right not to pay taxes, to not go along with, not to have their capitalism taken away from them, their right to make money off the working poor, to not have their wealth redistributed. That's what they're scared of. In other words, they do not want to contribute to society at all. They want to rule over the working poor, an anti-majoritarian rule. And that's really what, like I said, Mike Lee let the cat out of the bag in this tweet. I think Trump and the rest of his circle there have been pushing for this the whole time. Taking away the vote. I mean, that's obvious. Trying to take away the vote because it's against democracy. It's against, their theory is against the majority of America making the rules. They don't want that because they feel that America is turning less white and less in their favor. They want to keep a white male ruling majority over everybody else, even though that their group is considerably smaller than what the rest of America wants. In other words, democracy. We're going for an authoritarian rule. We're really pushing into this right now. Trump now is bullying his attorney Barr and a couple others in his circle, that they're going to go down in history as the worst ever. He's actually bullying his own attorney general. He's pushing him because he wants Biden and Obama arrested. He wants them now that it's obvious that he's losing. It's this panicky thing. It's a bizarre thing. This is like something in a movie, something you'd see in a horror movie, but it's happening right now. Again, he's bullying people because Barr didn't immediately jump. Like I said in the video last night, Attorney General Barr in the Justice Department has become Trump's pit bull, doing his bidding, his dirty work, which is not the way this is all supposed to work. That is the way third world authoritarian countries work. That's not how this works. So he's actually bullying his Attorney General Barr and somebody else, a couple other people in his little group, pushing them to act, pushing them to indict Joe Biden, his opponent, right now. There's pushes in all the swing states to take away polling places, to take away drop-off sites for mail-in ballots. In Ohio, a judge just ruled that they can't just have one drop-off point at the polling place for like 8,000 people, that they have to put other drop-off points to make it available to people who can't get there. Again, this is a push to take away the vote. from the majority of Americans and put it in the hands of a ruling, wealthy, white class of Americans. This is where we're headed. Like I said, Mike Lee, Senator Mike Lee, let the cat out of the bag and just said it outright that I hate democracy. Democracy isn't American. In other words, they don't want to go along with this anymore. They want to rule over the working poor. So I gave this some thought, and this goes back to the other videos I made. Now, I didn't forget about this. My call before about a nationwide strike, a nationwide strike and work stoppage. You see these right-wing groups, these militias, and it's all about the violence. And you see this, people like Mike Lee wanting to take away the vote. But I think we forget that America is made up of working people of all colors and all races. And when we decide that we no longer want to participate in their authoritarian government and just stop working and stop buying, what happens to the economy? What happens to the economy propping up this whole white minority rule? Is propped up by the working people of this country, the people going out every day and buying, going to Walmart and Target. What happens when that stops? Say on Black Friday, nobody goes out to buy anything. Work stoppages. Then their little party no longer works anymore. It doesn't take guns. It doesn't take violence to accomplish these goals. It just takes the majority of good Americans that still believe in democracy to not play anymore. To pull out for a day, 2 days, a week, whatever it takes. A work stoppage, a national strike. And their whole thing collapses. We don't need guns. We don't need violence. It all collapses once we decide we no longer want to play. We no longer want to keep building and supporting their worthy little minority rule. I think that's where we're headed. And like I said, I hadn't forgot about this. And I'm still serious about it. And I've been buying extra food and extra supplies every time I go shopping. And I wasn't kidding about that. I didn't forget about it. It wasn't a one-time thing. You know, we see these right-wing militias, like yesterday, the 6 or 7 people trying to kidnap Governor Whitmer. We don't need guns and violence. We need all we need to do is the majority of Americans just to pull out of take our ball and go home. We're not going to participate. And what happens to everything propping up? Like I said, this minority of worthy white Americans is propped up by the rest of us working and paying their taxes, like Trump's taxes. It's all happening right now in front of us. But what happens when we decide we no longer want to participate? We don't like the rules they're making anymore. National strike, a national work stoppage, it all collapses. The people that drive the trains, the people that drive the buses, the construction companies, the nurses, the librarians, the firemen, there's still good people out there of all colors and all races. And all it would take, I believe, is just a few days to have the stock market, not just the stock market, but the entire economy collapse. It won't take guns. It doesn't take violence. It just takes us, the working, good people, the majority of Americans, to no longer participate in this. It's my idea. As things continue to push in this direction, with senators coming out and saying they hate democracy, they don't want the majority to have the say. They want the worthy Americans to rule over the rest of us. They don't want to have to pay the taxes. They don't want to have to give to put in and pay like us regular working people. And they want to make the rules. They want to rule over the rest of America. But what happens when we take our ball and go home? Our ball being the economy. It all collapses. Something to think about. All right, I'll be back later with some more videos. Have a good Friday.